Welcome into our overtime segment here on SportsSource.tv. We appreciate you joining us. Joined by many former Vols here, VFLs. I get the emails if I say former Vols. David Ligon there, Jacob Gillum here, and then in between we have Daniel Hood, Sterling Hinton. I appreciate all you guys for being here and for sticking around even when I mess up people's names. We've got Twitter questions to get to. What can Tennessee do to shore up their fourth down defense? Amazingly, South Carolina converted one yesterday for touchdown. On the year, opponents have tried for fourth down 18 times against Tennessee. They've converted 14.
Yeah.
Again, Sterling, aside from creating a new song for fourth down for what do you do to shore up on fourth down? Is that just a mental thing or is that just flukish?
Let's get more tackles for a loss on third down. Move them back and make them reconsider the down and distance. That's how I see it. It worked one time yesterday. We had a couple of tackles for a loss, and they punted.
What do you think? Is this something you can actually – how do you focus on fourth downs? I mean, there's situational – you can do situational drills in football. Like, okay, at fourth and goal here at this and whatever. But, I don't know that there's anything specific you can do, is there? It's just learn to stop a play.
The only thing I can think of is that, I think when it's that high, I think it's not all on the players. You got to go back to your coaches. They got to prepare better, have a better idea of what they're doing on fourth down, and then get your guys in that position. Prepare them, Monday through Thursday.
Okay.
I think like what Sterling said, it goes back to playing better on first, second, third down. I mean, if you put the opposing offense in a situation where you look at the numbers and say, hey, our odds of getting this are rough, we're going to punt it. Now, I don't know if they look at what Tennessee's done this year and making that decision, but I'd like to see us be more aggressive on fourth down in those situations. But you know what? They go do that and we give up a long bomb. And everyone's like, why'd you go? You should have played prevent. And
right.
I mean, you're never going to be right.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it always. Why does Tennessee suddenly turn stupid when they go up by 14? We kind of answered that one in the show, I guess, a little bit. I don't think they turn stupid, but I think we kind of mixed it all up, that you've got some quarterback inconsistencies, you've got some conservatism when you've got a lead that you're trying to hold on to from the coaching staff. You got players who admitted that they kind of relax and have to learn how to win. Is there anything else we throw into this mix that any of you guys that weren't on the set for that question? Anything you would put out there in terms of reasons for Tennessee turning stupid when they go up by 14?
I don't think it's a stupid thing by our football team. I think it's just a sense of urgency by the guys that are down. And they go to practice too. They watch film also. And, it's just like I say, situations present themselves during the game that you have to react to. And if we reacted yesterday positive, we won the game, man. That's something to build on.
Well, let's go into this tweet, all right? Now, be nice.
Uh-oh.
Somebody tweeted me and says, yesterday's win puts a bandage on the problems with our program. South Carolina just lacks the talent to beat us, though they should have.
I disagree. I think you have to say hands down that Tennessee's got better talent. And I think the game goes back to, again, Tennessee had nothing to really prepare off of. I mean, they had 2 games of this guy's head coaching career. That's why you had the missed assignments in the secondary while they were getting so many wheel routes open, because Tennessee probably didn't have a chance to work on them in practice. And so to say that, I think this is the first time in probably since 2007 that you can say Tennessee's more talented hands down than South Carolina and some of those other teams. And so I think it's erroneous thought. I thought the game went exactly how it should have, and we actually won. So.
This guy followed up with, do you agree that a South Carolina program with more talent and a more experienced coach would have won that game? I would say no, because that was the last 2 years.
Yeah.
South Carolina had the more experienced coach and more talent on the field, and Tennessee beat them the last 2 years before this one. So I mean, you can't just look at it and say, well, A plus B equals C. It's like what we showed in the first segment of today's show. Football's different. Every week is its own season. So, Vanderbilt, if they played Florida 15 times, are they going to be within 2 points of them 15 times? No. So just take the win. I agree with you guys. At some point, just learn how to enjoy a victory again.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you got to learn how to enjoy a victory. And look, when you're up at Alabama's stature, you win 10, 11 games a year, then people can moan about style points. I get it. But if you're Tennessee at this point, it's a little early for that, in my opinion. Yeah. All right. Somebody asked if Jackson, Galden, Majit, Tuttle, and Robertson hadn't been hurt this year, what's Tennessee's record? Be better than it is.
I'll say that right now.
Oh, yeah. Undefeated.
I mean, it's arguably correct. Think
Arguably,
about it.
yes.
I mean, we can't say that because it's all futuristic, hypothetical stuff, but we're one play away from being undefeated in the 4 games we lost.
You don't think Majit's going to make
You don't
that
think
one
he'll make
play?
that play?
I think you beat Alabama.
You beat Alabama. We definitely beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's a little much to say you'd have won all of them. That's all I'm getting at.
Oh, we
But I
wouldn't have
think-
beat Arkansas. We wouldn't have beat Arkansas.
I don't know about Arkansas.
I think that was a bad matchup.
We wouldn't have beat.
I think the only one we would have lost would have maybe been Arkansas.
We were closer to the other
You
games.
guys are awfully. You're
think-
dealing in certainties with something that can't be certain.
Again,
So
it's
that's
all
why I
speculation.
wouldn't say
It's all
you win them all.
hypothetical.
But I think the clear answer though is you'd have a much better record, much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got to think Oklahoma. We couldn't get the quarterback on the ground against Oklahoma and Florida in the
Oh,
second half.
that's bitting you all
That's
year
two right
Yeah,
there.
that's
That's
Majit.
Majit.
That's got Majit all day written on it.
because he also would have helped Barnett.
Exactly.
I think if you have your 2 most powerful guards in Marcus Jackson and Ja'Shawn Robertson, I think running the ball late games is a little easier. Not to knock, my guys in there right now, but Marcus and Ja'Shawn are both fantastic run blockers.
That takes care of our Alabama. So there's the 3 wins.
Three.
So now we just got Arkansas.
And
to
then,
figure
we
out.
got a phantom holding call against
We
Arkansas
can
on the
justify
run back
number
for
1 in the
Kamara.
country, John.
That was
Yeah, be
phantom.
careful with that one.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
just
justify
saying.
anything, trust me.
What do you do with Josh Dobbs? We didn't really get a chance to go into this in detail. Somebody asked, what kind of drills can you run with a guy who fumbles 10 times? Well, they played 9 games now and he's fumbled 10 times. Lost 4 of them, but fumbled 10 times? That's a lot. Any kind of drills you can run to get a guy to, and is it the old, we're going to tape the football to your hand, and if anybody knocks it out of your hand and brings it back to me, we kick you in the butt.
Nowadays, quarterbacks, they're all wearing green jerseys or the non-contact jersey, and you have to do that because if you get a guy hurt in practice, oh gosh,
Yeah.
there goes your year. So that's a tough one because you do have to protect them in practice. You can't afford to have an injury there. The downside of that is that they are not getting the full speed, the contact reps, and sometimes I think that's probably something to do with it.
I want to hear Jake's point on that.
Listen, we rep the we have a way to hold the ball. We teach it, unendingly. So the way we hold the ball is we tuck it in here, we roll your hand like this, and you shouldn't be able to knock it out. Now, Josh is a quarterback, he's not a running back, but they still teach that stuff. They're working on the fumble with him, trust me. But at the same time, he's a quarterback, he's trying to make all the plays he can. He's our dynamic guy. You have the consistency of Jalen Hurd and Kamara, but Josh Dobbs is the guy that's going to make plays, and sometimes playmakers are a little loose with the ball.
And I think, again, what he's talking about with how they hold the football, I don't think we've seen that many fumbles from Josh when he's actually running the football.
A couple of them have been just complete strip sacks, which aren't. But the one against Kentucky, that's not his fault.
I think I'd say at least 5 or 6 of them had to have been when he's getting hit from one way or another. So the drill isn't working it when he's running the ball and gotten to here. The drill we got to figure out how to do with him is how to be here and not fumble it when you're getting blindside tackles. That's when he's
And
getting
part of
fumbled.
that's also pocket presence.
Yeah.
Although,
Yeah.
and by pocket presence, that's the clock in your head.
Yeah, it's the clock in your head.
And the thing is, like at Kentucky, the clock shouldn't have gone off by the time he got hit. So that's
Right.
why I don't really, that one's hard to blame him on because
Yeah.
that guy was on him quick. So I know that people say, well, you got a pocket presence. Well, if he's on you in a second and a half, you can forget all the pocket presence in the world.
That was excellent.
Manning and Brady are going down if it's a second and a half.
Yeah,
So.
and those blindside hits,
We've
you
seen what
can't
happened
protect that.
to seen what happened to Aaron Rodgers when he got a little pressure on him this week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, last one here. Butch keeps passively, aggressively trying to lower expectations for the future. Now I'll get to the questions. There's not a coach in America that doesn't kind of do that. They all do that. None of them come out and say, you're underestimating us. We're going to go 12-0. Put the pressure on. Nobody does that. But
I
anyway.
say 4.
Yeah, that's right. In your positivity, all you do is ramp up the pressure on it. Think pressure for success is fair for the future? Yes. Yes. Who doesn't? But, we've said all year, though, that this team could not afford injuries because it would expose youth. They got injuries all over the board. It exposed youth. Now you're seeing them learn to win. They're playing better. You can now start to see that they've got talent equal to Alabama now. That's young, it's green, but they don't look like they don't belong anymore. Yeah. You look like you're better than South Carolina. So yeah, now that you're in this ballpark, you have a bunch of juniors next year. Obviously, you're going to have pressure, aren't you? There's nothing wrong with putting pressure on a team once they're ready to play.
Yeah.
But that's why you come to Tennessee. You come to Tennessee to win, baby. You don't come to Tennessee to play good. And I think people need to. I think some of these fans need to understand the stress that the coaches have been under because we've got so many people playing that have no experience. We were down to, instead of 1, 2, 3 receivers, we're down to 4, 5, 6 receivers. Our number 4, number 5, number 6 receiver starting right now. And then we got other positions now at offensive lineman. We got we flipped our linebackers a few times. That's what I'm saying. So let's give them a little love for the coaching they've been doing. And we got a winning record.
I'll say this, pressure is good. And for anyone that doesn't think so, then you're not married because the only way you get diamonds is you take carbon and you put it through immense pressure for a long period of time. I think this is their period of converting for next year to have the success.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Are you going to put pressure on a kid to pass his LSAT at a certain Yeah. You're going to do that to a 5-year-old? Probably not. So you got to wait till he goes through school and gets ready to do that stuff, like our future lawyer right here.
Hey.
But what I think, last thoughts on North Texas, a half with the starters probably, and then a little like Western Carolina, you hope you can just roll out Dormady and the other guys.
Probably 3-4 series is the goal.
Get them out in the first half.
Knowing Coach, I doubt that he will just take his starters out at the half. I think they'll play one series in the second half. He'll pull them. I'm ready to see my guys, Thomas Edwards and come over my walk-on buddies, get there at the moment. All the work they put in is to play versus North Texas guys like these and really just show that our walk-ons aren't too bad either.
Absolutely.
And our Quentin Dormady, biggest fan right here. I can't wait to see Dormady just sling the ball all over the field.
All right. David, anything to close out with?
No, I think this is an important game. The starters need to recognize that they have a responsibility on their shoulders to go out and perform well, perform early. They'll probably get a series or two in the second half, but then it is time for those younger guys, the guys that put in a lot of work, that don't get their school paid for, an opportunity to go out and play in Neyland Stadium.
That's a great point.
That's the mentality when I played that we took.
When we played also.
David Ligon, Daniel Hood, Sterling Hinton, Jacob Gillum. Glad to have all 4 of these guys with us. Glad to have you with us every week. And we'll see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. on WATE 6 for Knoxville's top-rated sports show, The Sports Source. See ya.